let us know what's transpired?
Well, both Travis and Matty White won't play. They've both been ruled out this morning. So, unfortunately, with the selection process that you have to go through, you have to name the side on Thursday night. And if you don't name them in the side, you actually can't give them the chance to get through.
Yep.
They both did some running yesterday. We thought they may both come up. But as we got there this morning and got them going, it was clear that they weren't going to be able to play. So we've made that decision early and we're moving on.
Is this in line with your no-risk policy? I mean, could you have maybe pushed it a little bit?
No, we couldn't have played them.
No, you couldn't have played them.
Couldn't have played them. Both players are unfit to play.
Does it look like it'll be multiple weeks, or you don't know yet?
We're very hopeful that it's only one, and that's why we have to make that call now, and make sure we don't make them multiple weeks by playing them. If you try to push them through and you try to assist them to get through, it's just going to make them sorer, and then you might be in a horrible position.
I guess the beauty of the Magpie system is that you've got two guys that have already played some AFL footy this year in good form to come in.
Yeah, we have. We've got we've got plenty of players underneath that are in strong, solid form, but we need them this week clearly because we're now making 5 changes from the side that went to Alice Springs last week.
Did both of them attempt to train this morning?
Yeah, Boki didn't. Boki got there and he was just sore from running yesterday, so we made a pretty quick decision that we wouldn't need to push him to that point. And Matty White went out on the track and had a go at training and did the first bit of training, but said that the change of direction was still painful.
Will Brad Ebert step in as skipper this weekend?
Yep, obviously Brad's vice captain will be the captain of the club tomorrow, which is I think it's the second opportunity Brad's had to lead the club since him and Trav have been in control of the leadership group, so it's another great chance for him.
I imagine you'd be perfectly comfortable with him leading a club.
Oh yeah, Brad's it's always vice captain. He's our if Travis is our first choice, Brad's clearly our second choice to lead the club, and he'll do a great job.
Ken, 3 more key names coming this week with Harder, Cassisi and Jonas. How much does that bolster the squad as well?
Yeah, well, it's pretty important for us, obviously, to get some experience back into the team, and off the back of the other 2 boys going out, and then Maury and Paul Stewart as well getting injured in last week's game. So we did certainly pay a big price for the trip to Alice Springs.
And how long is Moore looking out on the sidelines? Is that 4 to 6 weeks roughly?
Yeah, it's 4 to 6. We're hopeful that it might, he might be get back closer to 4 than 6, but we won't push him. We'll make sure he's right to go because he's had some issues right through the first part of this year that's made it difficult for him to play at his best.
The perception will be that you're vulnerable, given the injuries and the change around and having to make 5 changes. Is that the way you see it, or is it just a case of, well, we've got other players and our depth will be tested, but this is what we've got? Yeah,
and that's why you've got a list of 45 that you have to actually call on at times. And I think we've got 10 injuries now on our list, which every side gets injuries. You just got to deal with them. You would like to think that you play a game of football, a style of football that's not personnel based. It's more team based, and hopefully we were able to show that again tomorrow.
Think you'll learn a few lessons this weekend in regards to that, or have you already you know exactly what you're going to get? Oh no, I think we're reasonably comfortable with the output that we'll get from the players who are coming in, and we're really comfortable with the team, the way we structure up, the way we play. Our defence won't be adjusted by anything. It's always about team defence, and as long as that's okay, we'll be all right.
What do Newton and Gray sort of bring to the side this week?
Oh, well, they both bring really good form as they've been in at the Magpies. So they bring that into the side, but they bring a real desperation to want to get a game and prove themselves and be a part of what we've been able to do so far. So it's always good when you get players who are trying really hard to get their spot and those opportunities open up for them. You do see a lift in their own effort, and hopefully that transpires across the team.
Given the changes that you've made and the depth that will be tested, does the presence of the opposition coach who knows your every move going to make a difference?
No, not really. I mean, Richo does. He knows a lot about us, and we know a little bit about Richo, but I've said a couple of times this week, it doesn't really matter what we do or don't know about each other, and personnel. I know the St Kilda players well, even though I don't coach them. I mean, that's our jobs to know that information, but it'll certainly be a little bit of an assistance at some stage, but really once the game starts, it's who's on top and the 22 that are on the ground, and that will be the biggest determining factor.
How do you see St Kilda this year? Their form has been a little bit difficult to read, hasn't it?
Oh, look, they start off really strongly, and I think on Richo's own words, they've had a couple of disappointing weeks over the last 4 or 5 weeks. But when they bring their absolute best, and he talks about their effort regularly, that when they've got that up, they're very hard work and hard to beat. They've got Schneider out this week, but they've got 5 blokes over 30 in their side, so they're a really experienced side, and they can cause problems for anyone if you're not ready. Do you expect a defensive game? I remember the last time you played at Alberton, you sort of almost looked like you're playing the same game against one another, didn't you? It's funny about that. It can sometimes, we've actually spoken about it, sometimes it's going to look a little bit like a mirror at times, and what's going on, and that's what I said, it's going to be about the side that gets control of those contested ball situations and the ball in dispute, and then defensively who sets up the best, I think.
Is that how you see it, contested ball, but also do you look to strangle them a little bit, or?
No, we look to play strong defence every week, and not just for St Kilda. We want to play defensively really strong football. I don't think we've been our absolute best defensively, so that's a challenge that the boys have got in front of them a little bit, is that we need to lift in our effort in that defensive area, because we know that's our heartbeat and that's where we want to perform at our best, and the rest will come off that.
Do you mean recently or just this season in general?
Oh no, I think a little bit recently. We've been a little bit underperforming in defensive areas of the game that we need to have right.
What's the biggest threat that they bring, St Kilda? Is it banging it into those key forwards?
No, well, they've got plenty of threats, you know, and obviously Nick's an obvious one up in the front half, and they've got Lenny in the middle and those sort of players around the team, but they just bring a threat because they're in the AFL competition, and we know, we've seen it over the last few weeks, that if you're not right, no matter what, ladder positions don't mean much at the start of any game. They look great during the week, but they don't mean much at the start of the game. You've just got to bring your effort.
How's Wingard going? Is he 100%?
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, Chad will be playing, no problems.
The philosophy with St Kilda has been, you can't just leave somebody on revolt all day because you'll run them off their legs. Nobody can go the distance with him. Is that something that you've looked at, or it'll just be Jackson Tringrove and that'll be it?
Oh no, we'll have a match up to play against Nick, and we'll do it. That player, I'm sure, will do his absolute best to stay with him, and you know, obviously we'd like that match up to be the same. And if we can get that and get that control of that position, it will go a long way towards us winning the game. But you're right, Nick Riewold's a champion of the game. He's been a star of this competition, and you know, there's a lot of help needed to support that player.
Have you seen like Gray and Newton? Have you sort of seen them improve a little bit, in what areas have they improved since last time they were in the side?
Oh, look, Benny Newton's been in outstanding form right through the whole season, and Sam himself back in the Magpies. They couldn't have played any better. You know, they've got stuff that they bring to the team that's a bit different to Travis and Matt. They bring some stuff that will be very helpful for us. So they just deserve their opportunity to play, and that's the key message. If you deserve your opportunity, you should play when the chances arise. And Ben got one game, got replaced by some blokes who had been crook, and then's gone back, and I think he's been in our best 3 players every week since.